Hello and a warm welcome to Air News Daily on Thursday the 16th of July with me, Jeremy Spake. The European Aviation Safety Agency, EASA, has recommended to airlines not to operate in the airspace of Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar or the United Arab Emirates, as renewed fighting between the United States and Iran has created what it deems to be unacceptable risks to civil aircraft. The new Conflict Zone Information Bulletin, which was issued on Tuesday evening, also covers airspace over the Gulf of Oman, within the Muscat Flight Information Region, west of 58 degrees east longitude. The advisory applies at all altitudes and flight levels and remains valid until the 29th of July unless rescinded by the regulator, and covers all airlines based in or operating to, from or through the European Union under an EASA authorization. What this will mean for operations to and from the region remains to be seen, and we will of course monitor developments. Airbus is expected to undertake the most significant tests so far of its A350-1000 ultra-long-range aircraft destined for Qantas, according to the 7 News Network in Australia, who have reported that the plane maker will operate a non-stop test flight from Toulouse to Melbourne on the 23rd of July, arriving in Victoria's capital at 11 a.m. local time the next day. During the flight, Airbus engineers and flight crews will test a plethora of systems to validate the aircraft's capability, taking Qantas one step nearer to realising Project Sunrise. Since 2018, US plane maker Boeing has faced the most challenging period in its long history, but may now have rediscovered its mojo. In June, the Seattle-based company delivered 64 commercial aircraft, an increase of 4 airframes over the previous month. The deliveries included 42 737 MAX aircraft and 13 787 Dreamliners, 5 of which were delivered to Riyadh Air, enabling them to commence commercial services earlier than planned. Boeing's performance has been helped by increased output of its most popular product, the 737 MAX, with monthly production moving from 42 towards 47 aircraft. So far this year, the company has delivered a total of 314 aircraft, a 12% increase over the same period last year. Let's hope that they can maintain pace and, of course, receive final certification for the 737 MAX 7 and 10, as well as the long overrunning 777-9 without any further delays. We've got our fingers crossed for you, Boeing. French low-cost long-haul operator French Bee has renewed its contract with Globe Air Cargo Canada for general sales and support services in both Canada and the United States. The contract will now be enforced for a further 3 years and will provide the French carrier with cargo representation across both territories, supporting its A350 flights from Paris-Orly to Los Angeles, Miami, Montreal, Newark and San Francisco. Incredibly, 2025 saw almost 10 billion passengers travel by air, according to Airport Council International's report released yesterday. The report covers 2,817 airports across the globe and includes passenger numbers, cargo volumes and aircraft movements. So who made it to the top 5 of busiest airports on the planet? Unsurprisingly, Atlanta, Georgia, USA, home to Delta Airlines, remains the busiest airport in the world with 106,302,208 people passing through its doors, a drop of 1.6% over 2024. Hot on the heels of Atlanta was Dubai, which saw just over 95 million travellers last year, and Japan's Tokyo Haneda welcomed almost 92 million flyers and grabbed itself the bronze medal. Runners-up included Dallas-Fort Worth in 4th place with 85.5 million passengers, with Shanghai's Pudong closing in with just shy of 85 million travellers, having moved from 10th position in 2024 to 5th last year. In Europe, Heathrow just managed to retain its title as busiest airport with almost 84.5 million customers, just ahead of Istanbul, which was only 44,416 passengers away from overtaking the UK gateway, and will almost certainly surpass it this year. It's time to get that 3rd runway built, Mr. Burnham. There's your first job when you get into your new office. And finally, Kiwi flag carrier Air New Zealand has shared images of its new Boeing 777-300ER cabin designs, which reveal some major upgrades that will be retrofitted to its fleet, with the first reconfigured aircraft due to enter service in May next year. The most significant change is seen in the business cabin, which moves to a forward-facing layout with 44 new Collins elevation seats that all feature a sliding privacy door, which, as we know, is now the norm in premium cabins, and an 18-inch screen with Bluetooth audio. The upgraded cabins will definitely be welcomed by the airline's customers, as the first 777 entered the fleet in 2010. So this refresh will help keep the product competitive, and we like it. You do let us know what you think. Thanks for watching. We'll do this all again tomorrow, so make sure you check in again with us in the morning. And in the meantime, remember to stay safe. Bye for now.
Tune in tomorrow when we'll be bringing you the latest news from the commercial aviation world. And don't forget to subscribe to Air News Daily.